Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Good afternoon, Jeffrey Combs. Good to be here with you on 2 for Tuesday. The time frame is perfect for this Facebook Live this afternoon. Jeffrey Combs, President and Founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, with Facebook Live on December 30th, a very applicable day here. And the topic for today's Facebook Live is being and living in the now. Living in the now. The book by Eckhart Tolle came out several years ago, The Power of Now, if you remember that book and how impactful that was. Then he had following books after that. Tolle had Stillness Speaks, and then he had a New Earth was his following book. And then after that, he somewhat just drifted off into nowhere. He never really did many speaking engagements and did a few podcasts and a few interviews, but seldom was ever seen again. However, his book, The Power of Now, became a multi-million dollar seller. So being present, being in the now, is one of the most important spaces to be able to learn to live. Now, if you live in the lower self, which is the ego, the analytical egoic mind, which is anxiety, fear, and doubt, driven by the emotions of anger, hate, resentment, frustration, disappointment, and rage. That's the anger family. And then there's abandonment, rejection, overwhelmed feelings, grief, apathy, and pride. So any one or combination or multitude of these emotions will keep you in a lower vibrational energy, in the feelings of lower vibration of anxiety, fear, and specifically doubt. And so if you live in doubt, that's the space between fear and faith. Doubt is duality. And in duality, it's like you know and you don't know. You're in and you're out. You should and you shouldn't. And that's the space of procrastination and avoidance. So doubt is what keeps people emotionally paralyzed. It's, as I said, it's duality. It's know and don't know. And in that state of know and don't know, this is when the brain fog, the panic patterns, and the trauma that the body holds on to becomes very prevalent and then breaks the body down eventually over a long period of time and creates a series of diseases. And so this will be neck subluxations, lower back challenges, gut issues, a multitude of situations that will happen in your body. Acne, then skin issues, skin rashes, and then all of the gut issues that are a byproduct of food we consume, which then creates H. pylori, SIBO, small intestinal bacterial organizations, and then the parasites that live in our body. And so a combination of all of these situations will keep you low energy, low vibration, and it'll keep you transmitting a set of feelings, specifically in doubt. The ego that drives this identity that the lower self is, the lower self of the ego, well, the ego can't rest. The ego always has to be worried. The ego lives in the future and regrets the past, and that's why so many people are emotionally paralyzed by being in this doubt. As you begin to let go and you give yourself permission to live more in the present, in the now, in the know, you're neutralizing this. And by being able to be in the present, that's the eye of the needle. And as you're living more in the present, you are wiring a new set of neurons. It's not a rewire, it's your wiring. And as you're living sobriety, emotional and other situations, as you're letting go of alcohol, as you're letting go of marijuana, as you're letting go of the food you consume, as you begin to change your habitual habits about being in anxiety, fear, and doubt, as you let go of the stories you tell yourself, as you let go of the anger, as you let go of being abandoned. And if you've been in this process for a long time and you're still in this loop and you've studied personal development, you've read books, and you've gone to workshops and rallies and conventions and listened to podcasts, and you're still in this emotional loop, well, there's still hope for you, because it really comes down to this. It comes down to the pain is great enough. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a rock bottom, but if you've been there, well, you've already experienced it. So, but if you're committed to letting go of this process, and you're committed to learning the life skills required to live a good life, then it's going to require you to be present. And that's have clarity, a vision, and focus on the solution. And be able to have the energy where you can sit down at a desk, where you can focus on making phone calls, where you can focus on writing content, where you're not distracted. You're not getting up and going to the refrigerator or taking a walk around the block or getting on different social media sites and then accomplishing nothing. That is what happens to a large percent of the population. And if this is you, I feel for you, but it's still going to be your responsibility, your ability to respond, to address why you do what you do. So you can begin this let go process so you can be and stay present. When you are present, you have peripheral vision. You can see, sense, and feel what's going on. When you're present, you can be on a plane and see what's happening. You can be anywhere in the world and you have a sense of feel, a sense of sight, a sense of intuition, extrasensory perception, and you're going to be able to access the quantum field. The brainwave state changes from theta and beta to gamma. And so in that gamma brainwave state, you're releasing a different neurochemical, dimethyltryptamine, DMT. And in that gamma brainwave state, you're in a chilled out state. So this Cora says she's watching from a calm, relaxed body. That's awesome. That is what I'm seeking to assist people to be, is that calm, relaxed body. It's the ability to ride a horse in it. It's to take a walk. It's to chill out. It's to be able to meditate. It's to be able to sit in a steam room, a sauna, a cold bath. It's the ability to sit in a foot bath. But see, many people, they have ants in their pants. They have the spilkas. These are old cliches. They can't sit still, and they have restless leg syndrome. Have you ever sat next to someone whose leg was just going like this? I was on an airplane once, and a former NBA player who I knew of, and was the coach at San Francisco University at the time, played at Kansas University, and played for the Philadelphia 76ers. He was sitting next to me on a flight from Los Angeles to San Francisco, and I was watching that out of the corner of my eye. He had that leg syndrome. His leg was just bouncing like this. And this is how many people are. We can't sit still. The medical community loves to tell you that that's ADD, ADHD, and all the other acronyms associated with terms that will give them permission to do what they do. They know what you know what they do. If you are committed and you are willing to let go of the trauma-based mind control, if you're willing to understand that you are a black sheep and you have been chosen for a higher calling, and you're willing to let go of the trauma the body has held on to, and you are committed to being your best self, then you can step into your power. You can be in my power. And in that power, you can be present. Being present allows you to be humble. And in that humility, you can't be humiliated. You won't be angered. You won't lose it. You won't feel violated as frequently because you are present. In that present moment awareness, you have the ability to separate fact from fiction, and you can discern. You can see, sense, and feel what's happening. And then you don't have to react to the stimulus. You'll respond to it. You don't have to lose your composure. You stay in your body. You don't have to get into a conflict because you're no longer in conflict consciousness. So when you're in the present, when you're in the now, it gives you full capacity of both hemispheres of your brain, left brain, right brain. It allows you to access your limbic brain. It allows you to access your prefrontal cortex. It allows you to access your hippocampus, which is short-term, long-term memory. And then the amygdala does what it's supposed to do. It searches for new feelings that are empowering. And so instead of relapsing back into familiar feelings of neurons that wire together, that fire together, you can be present. And so the past has no significance other than what you give it. So like myself, I'm a recovering addict, alcoholic, rock bottom, spent time in jail, multiple DUIs, public arrests, public intoxications, hit and run, leaving the scene of an accident is like this. It's a laundry list. All those happened. And I've been practicing forgiveness of what I did to myself and others over a long period of time, neutralizing my feelings of shame and guilt that I used to hold on to. Because the significance of how we view an event and the significance of and the energy that we give it is determined whether we are in higher consciousness or lower consciousness. Lower consciousness, the body will take you back to shame. Higher consciousness will take you to gratitude and forgiveness. Lower consciousness will give you a reason to go to the refrigerator or the vape pipe or to the marijuana bag or to the pharmacy. So when you live in that lower consciousness, the ego can't relax. The ego requires instant gratification. The ego requires something to be agitated about. The ego can't rest. It can't slow down. The ego has to worry about the future and regret the past. And so in that state of conscious unconsciousness, this is why people can't meditate. This is why they have challenges praying. This is why they can't sleep at night. This is why they tell me that they get hunger pangs, like P-A-N-G. I have hunger pangs after I eat. My gut hurts, they will tell me. No, that's not it. That means you're an addict. And as an addict, you always want a little more. And you don't have the courage to be able to breathe through the situation that your body is recreating to fulfill a feeling at that point. And so you don't practice forgiveness. You don't hear compliments. And you're not grateful. That's the average person. So I've complimented hundreds of people who, why would you say that? I mean, factor this, you compliment someone, and this shows you they're not in the present. When you compliment someone and they automatically don't believe you, don't trust you, that's on them, not you, but they will put you in a position to validate, justify, and explain yourself why you're giving them a compliment. Just watch what happens sometime when you do it. I've done it hundreds of times where I go, wow, you are awesome. Why would you say that? I mean, why would I say it? Because I felt it. But if I have to validate, justify, and explain it, then I'm going to exit this conversation. Because that is someone who wants to triangulate you into conflict, and they want you to be their counterforce. I mean, you're giving someone a compliment, and now they want you to be in conflict with them. That is how they sabotage relationships, not understanding that's why they do what they do, recreating the same situation to fulfill the neurochemical craving of being emotionally addicted to disappointment. And then the same person can't grasp that they're addicted to disappointment because it doesn't make sense. And see, when you're present, making sense has no relevance because present moment awareness does not create pennies, does not make sense. So when you're present, you understand. And when you see something going on in the mainstream news, and you're aware of what's going on in the world, and you're able to peel back the layers, and you know that when some rapper is now at a big conference with someone, and they're like coming together, or these movie stars and singers are now backing this political party, and you're just sitting there laughing your ass off because you understand what's behind that curtain, what's behind that veil. You're not seduced by, oh my God, isn't this so awesome? It isn't. It's called trauma-based mind control. It's called controlled opposition. It's called seducing the populace so they can just tiptoe quietly right to their grave through what they consume, what they put in their body, and what source of information that they listen to. And if you're present, you're able to discern lies from truth. When you're present, you know, and you don't have to explain this to anyone. When someone wants me to explain what I know, especially what I've studied down the rabbit hole for 40 years, I'm not even going to get into, I don't even entertain that conversation because what they want is conflict. They don't want the truth. They want you to prove to them. And so someone that wants to prove means that they live in doubt and they're skeptical. And so that skepticism has them recreating the same situation to fulfill the same set of feelings. Have you ever heard anyone say, I'm naturally skeptical? I'm like saying I'm naturally broke. So there isn't anything natural about being skeptical. Being skeptical is about being traumatized. And it means that you can't trust anyone. And if you've been traumatized by your family and through sexual, physical, emotional, and the triangulation that happens through narcissistic family members who send out the flying monkeys to take you off course and then gaslight you with words, letting you know that you're the crazy one. You are crazy for having dreams. You are crazy for wanting to move away from us. How dare you have the courage to leave us? I mean, see, right, this, once you see the wizard for the dirty old man, but that's very good. That is awesome. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here this afternoon. This is the last podcast, Golden Mastermind Podcast, of the year of our Lord 2025. It's been an exceptional year. Thank you for being here through all the shadow banning and the whatever you those of you who understand social media know what I know, the challenges you encounter to be able to find your people in today's world. And for those of you who found me, thank you very much. Much gratitude for being here with me in 2025. 2026 will be another very unique year as I watch behind the curtain what is happening every single day. If you are on today's Facebook Live, you are a former client of mine. This is the last 2 days I have. I usually don't have specials for coaching, but I do have a Black Friday offer for a former client. If you would like to reach out to me and find out what that is, I'd be honored to share it with you. So I do have a 2-for-1 coaching offer for a former client. So if you'd like to reach out and find out what that is, I would be honored to share that with you in a breathe, release, and let go afternoon. Michael Haar, good to see you this afternoon. Kevin Clinton Paulson, Patty, always good to see you. Tom Nash, an honor to be your coach going back many, many years. Cora May, thank you for being here. Michael Claney, longtime follower, going back at least 15 years. I believe I saw Dorothy Wirt, and I saw Sarah Graham. Thank you, Sarah, for being here, for following me for the last several years. Breathe, release, and let go. So it's in the books today for the 2025 GMS Podcast. I'll see you next Tuesday in 2026. You have a great afternoon.